Peyton Manning and Mike Vanderjagt. Both men defined Indianapolis Colts football in the early 2000s, but off the field, their relationship was far from friendly. After the Colts' playoff loss to the New York Jets in 2002, Vanderjagt publicly criticized Manning and head coach Tony Dungy, questioning their leadership and decisions. Manning didn't hold back in return, famously calling Mike "our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off." The tension made headlines and cast a rare shadow over the Colts locker room. Peyton Manning's career is legendary. A 5-time NFL MVP and 2-time Super Bowl champion, he led the Colts to multiple playoff appearances and became known for his incredible football IQ, pinpoint accuracy, and leadership. Mike, meanwhile, became one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, going perfect in field goals and extra points during the 2003 season. Yet his blunt personality often clashed with teammates and coaches. The feud wasn't just about words. It reflected a clash of personalities in a team chasing Super Bowl glory. By the mid-2000s, Mike was gone from Indianapolis, while Manning continued his Hall of Fame career. Mike's accuracy remained impressive, but the Colts era remembered him as much for the tension with Manning as for his kicking. Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb. In 2004, the Philadelphia Eagles were looking like one of the best teams in the NFL. Donovan McNabb was the team's quarterback, calling the plays and leading the offense, while Terrell Owens had just joined the Eagles as a star wide receiver, known for his amazing catches and big plays. With both of them on the field, the team quickly became very strong and excited fans everywhere. Their hard work and talent helped the Eagles make it all the way to Super Bowl 39, the biggest game of the season. Owens had been dealing with a serious injury, but he came back and played in the Super Bowl anyway, showing incredible courage and determination. He caught passes and gained 122 yards, proving he was still one of the best players in the league. However, even with his great performance, the Eagles lost the game to the New England Patriots. After the game, Owens spoke to the media and criticized McNabb, saying the quarterback got tired during the game. Owens said, "I just feel like we'd be in a better situation." McNabb responded, saying, "It was definitely a slap in the face to me." The problems didn't stop there. In 2005, Owens was suspended for behavior that hurt the team, and he was eventually released. Even though they played well together on the field, their disagreement off the field became one of the most famous feuds in NFL history. Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin. 2 names, 1 scandal. A locker room that was supposed to be a place for teammates to support each other instead became a place of tension and fear. Richie Incognito was a 4-time Pro Bowler, known for being very strong and very aggressive on the football field. He could dominate opponents and protect his teammates in games. But off the field, behind the helmet, a very different story was happening. Jonathan Martin was a young, talented offensive lineman with a bright future in the NFL. He had just started his professional career and was full of promise. But within the Miami Dolphins locker room, Martin became a target of mistreatment, facing a situation he was not prepared for. In 2013, Martin left the team because of emotional distress. What came after shocked everyone. The NFL's independent investigation, led by Ted Wells, found that Incognito, along with teammates John Jerry and Mike Pouncey, had bullied Martin. The report said they used racial slurs, threats, and intimidation. It described the behavior as consistent with workplace bullying and bearing many hallmarks of a classic case of bullying. Incognito was suspended by the Dolphins. The league took action, but the situation left a lasting mark. Martin's departure started a national conversation about bullying in sports. In 2025, Martin looked back on the events and said he never felt bullied. He said the story had been influenced by his mother and how the media told it. Incognito, once criticized, now says he is vindicated and claims the tale was exaggerated to protect financial interests. By the way, I'm going to be posting a lot more interesting videos on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you could show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Joe Montana and Steve Young, 2 of the most iconic quarterbacks in NFL history, found themselves not just teammates but competitors vying for the same coveted position. Joe Montana, 4-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, the quarterback whose calm under pressure became legendary. Montana defined an era for the San Francisco 49ers, delivering precision passes when it mattered most and leading the team to NFL glory. Then came Steve Young. Acquired by the 49ers in 1987, Young was a dynamic, dual-threat quarterback with a rocket arm and blazing speed. From the start, it was clear. Young had the talent to be a starter and the ambition to match. For years, the 49ers carried two elite quarterbacks, each with a claim to greatness. Montana, the established hero, commanded respect. Young, the rising star, pushed to prove he belonged. Tension simmered quietly, an unspoken battle for the future of the team. In 1991, fate intervened. Montana, struggling with injuries, stepped aside. Young seized the opportunity, showcasing his dual-threat style and cementing himself as the 49ers' leader. Montana would eventually leave San Francisco, joining the Kansas City Chiefs in 1993, passing the torch to Young and closing one chapter of NFL history. Despite the competition, respect was earned. Montana's legacy of calm efficiency and Young's electrifying playmaking combined to create one of the most dominant quarterback eras in NFL history. Together, their careers shaped the 49ers, pushed each other to greatness, and left an indelible mark on the game. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. In the tundra of Green Bay, two quarterbacks, one a legend, the other a prodigy, would become symbols of both rivalry and respect. Brett Favre was more than just a great player. He was a true legend in Green Bay. He won the NFL Most Valuable Player award 3 times, helped lead the Packers to a Super Bowl championship, and had a cannon for an arm that could throw the football from almost anywhere on the field. For 16 long seasons, Favre carried the Packers on his shoulders, making incredible plays, thrilling fans, and leaving behind a legacy that felt untouchable. Everyone knew his name. Everyone admired his toughness, and everyone watched in awe as he played game after game with unmatched skill and determination. Then came Aaron Rodgers. Drafted in 2005, Rodgers had to wait behind Favre, learning every day. He watched closely, studied the way Favre played, and practiced tirelessly, hoping for the day he would finally get the chance to lead the team. But that day wasn't easy to reach. Favre's presence was huge, and his shadow stretched over the locker room, creating tension that no one could ignore. Favre wanted to keep playing and found it hard to give up control. Rodgers wanted to take charge and step out of that shadow. The relationship was complicated, mentorship mixed with rivalry, patience mixed with frustration. "I left them in limbo. I just didn't want to decide until I got right up to training camp," Favre admitted. Rodgers added, "Seriously, I don't even have his number." Favre finally retired, but returned the next season, keeping the uncertainty alive. When Favre finally left Green Bay for the Minnesota Vikings, Rodgers became the full-time starter, and he proved himself. 4 MVP awards, a Super Bowl title, and countless records later, Aaron Rodgers stepped out of Favre's shadow and made the Packers his own. Time eventually softened the tension. The two quarterbacks reconciled, recognizing each other's greatness and the challenges of their shared journey. Steve Smith Sr. and Kelvin Benjamin. In the world of professional football, competition is fierce, and sometimes it boils over. Steve Smith Sr. was the heart and soul of the Carolina Panthers offense. A 5-time Pro Bowler with over 1,000 career receptions, nearly 15,000 receiving yards, and 81 touchdowns, Smith was known for his fiery competitiveness and unrelenting work ethic. He demanded intensity from everyone around him. In 2014, the Panthers drafted Kelvin Benjamin, a 6'5" rookie with huge potential. Benjamin had the size and speed to dominate, and expectations were high. But in his early days, his approach to practice and consistency on the field reportedly didn't match Smith's standards. Tensions grew during training camp. Smith, always the intense leader, clashed with Benjamin over effort and focus. Sources described the disagreements as heated, and there were even reports of a physical confrontation. It was a glimpse into the challenges of balancing mentorship, leadership, and personality in the NFL. Despite the friction, both players contributed to the team. Benjamin showed flashes of brilliance, finishing his rookie season with over 1,000 receiving yards, while Smith continued to be a reliable target and a veteran presence. Their dynamic illustrated the difficult mix of raw talent and veteran leadership that defines every NFL locker room. Eventually, their paths diverged. Smith finished his career with the Baltimore Ravens, sealing his career as one of the game's most passionate and productive receivers. Benjamin moved on to other teams, showing glimpses of his talent but never reaching the same level of consistency. Geno Smith and I.K. Enemkpali. In the world of professional sports, rivalries and tensions usually stay on the field, where players compete with energy and passion. But in 2015, something shocking happened inside the New York Jets locker room that blurred that line in a way nobody expected. It was a moment that shocked fans, teammates, and the entire league. On August 11, 2015, Jets linebacker I.K. Enemkpali confronted quarterback Geno Smith about a $600 debt. Enemkpali had bought a plane ticket for Smith so he could attend a football camp, but Smith had not paid him back. What might have been a simple disagreement quickly escalated. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and the situation turned physical in a shocking instant. Enemkpali punched Smith directly in the jaw, breaking it in 2 places. The force of that punch immediately changed everything. The consequences were fast and severe. Geno Smith was forced to miss 6 to 10 weeks to recover from surgery, while I.K. Enemkpali was released by the Jets later that same day. Coach Todd Bowles reacted in disbelief, saying, "Unbelievable. You gotta be kidding me." Despite this setback, Smith showed incredible determination. He returned to play and even earned the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award in 2022. Enemkpali signed with the Buffalo Bills after his release from the Jets. Mike Evans and Marshon Lattimore, a tale of 2 players whose animosity ignited on the field, creating one of the league's most intense feuds. Mike Evans, a towering presence on the field, is known for his precise route running and clutch receptions. Marshon Lattimore, a cornerback with a reputation for shutting down top receivers and getting under their skin. It all began in 2017. The Buccaneers faced the Saints in New Orleans. Tensions flared when Evans, frustrated by Lattimore's coverage, blindsided the rookie cornerback from behind, sending him crashing to the turf. Fast forward to 2022. The animosity had only intensified. In a pivotal game, Evans and Lattimore clashed once more. Words were exchanged, shoves turned into a full-blown brawl, leading to both players being ejected from the game. The NFL took notice. Evans was suspended for 1 game, a rare penalty for a star player. Lattimore's prowess on the field was undeniable. A 2-time Pro Bowler, he consistently proved himself as one of the league's top cornerbacks. Evans, too, continued to shine. With over 1,000 receiving yards in multiple seasons, he solidified his legacy as one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. The rivalry is seen by many as a personal one, with a competitive element beyond typical player matchups. Bill Romanowski and J.J. Stokes. December 15, 1997, was a day that would be remembered for years in NFL history. On that day, Denver Broncos linebacker Bill Romanowski, who was famous for playing very aggressively, faced off against San Francisco 49ers wide receiver J.J. Stokes. The tension on the field was high, and what happened next shocked everyone watching. Romanowski, in a moment of anger, spat directly into Stokes' face. The crowd went silent, and players froze. It was a moment that showed just how intense NFL rivalries could get. Bill Romanowski was not just any player. He was a 4-time Super Bowl champion. His career had been filled with powerful tackles, big plays, and a reputation for being one of the toughest linebackers in the league. Fans both feared and respected him for his hard-hitting style. But this act of spitting crossed a line. The NFL fined him $7,500 and suspended him for a game. Even though he had many great accomplishments, this incident left a dark mark on his career. On the other side, J.J. Stokes was a first-round draft pick and one of the 49ers' top wide receivers. He was known for running precise routes, catching passes reliably, and helping his team score. Despite being humiliated on the field that night, Stokes stayed focused and strong. He finished his career with over 4,000 receiving yards and 30 touchdowns. The incident sparked a public debate about sportsmanship and the impact of player actions. Percy Harvin and Golden Tate, 2 explosive stars on a team built to dominate. Both were key members of the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, a roster stacked with energy, attitude, and championship ambition. But just days before Super Bowl 48, something happened that no one expected. Multiple reports claimed Harvin punched Tate during a team meeting, leaving him with a black eye. Some teammates, like Cliff Averill, later confirmed a fight did occur, but Tate himself denied ever being hit. That season, Percy Harvin joined Seattle in a blockbuster trade from the Minnesota Vikings. Known for his blazing speed, Harvin was meant to be the final weapon in an already powerful offense. But injuries kept him sidelined for most of the season. Golden Tate, meanwhile, had become Russell Wilson's top target, finishing 2013 with 64 receptions, 898 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Tensions quietly simmered throughout the season. Harvin reportedly frustrated over his role, and Tate irritated by Harvin's attitude. According to the report, the conflict exploded during Super Bowl week when the two confronted each other at the team hotel. Harvin allegedly tackled Tate into a trash can during the scuffle. Whether a punch landed or not, the dispute fractured trust within the locker room just days before football's biggest game. Despite the chaos, the Seahawks crushed the Denver Broncos 43-8, winning their first Lombardi trophy. Tate caught 3 passes for 17 yards, while Harvin's 87-yard kickoff return touchdown in the second half helped seal the victory. But the win didn't mend their broken relationship. Within months, Harvin was traded to the New York Jets after more locker room issues, and Tate signed with the Detroit Lions in free agency. Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice. In the world of the NFL, very few rivalries have been as intense, as famous, or as talked about as that between Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders. 2 incredible athletes, 2 legends, now connected by the same team, the same field, and a story of competition that went far beyond just wins and losses. Their rivalry was fierce, unforgettable, and full of moments that made fans hold their breath. Jerry Rice, the all-time leader in receiving yards, is a player who set records that may never be broken and is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Deion Sanders, prime time himself, known for his flashy style, unmatched speed, and skill, is a 2-time Super Bowl winner and famously the only man to play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. For years, they were rivals. Twice each season, the San Francisco 49ers and Atlanta Falcons would meet, and Rice knew that facing Sanders meant long nights thinking about the game, planning each move, and preparing for a battle of skill and strategy. Then, in 1994, everything changed. Deion Sanders joined the 49ers. The fierce rivals became teammates. On paper, it looked like a dream team. But under their helmets, tensions simmered. Their competitive spirits clashed during practice. Words were exchanged, yet despite the friction, they shared one goal: victory. Together, they helped the 49ers win the Super Bowl, showing even the strongest rivals can unite and achieve greatness. Rice and Sanders later developed a strong friendship, often appearing together in the media and sharing stories of their playing days. Terrell Owens and Jeff Garcia, 2 stars sharing the same field but divided by it. Their time with the San Francisco 49ers was marked not just by touchdowns and victories, but by tension simmering behind closed doors. Terrell Owens, known for his electrifying performances and bold personality, was a force to be reckoned with. Over his illustrious career, he amassed over 15,000 receiving yards and 153 touchdowns, earning 6 Pro Bowl selections and 5 All-Pro honors. Jeff Garcia, a quarterback with grit and determination, led the 49ers to multiple playoff appearances. His leadership on the field was undeniable, but off the field, tensions simmered. The friction began when Owens publicly criticized Garcia's leadership and performance, leading to a strained relationship during their time with the 49ers. The situation escalated when Owens insinuated that Garcia was gay, a comment that Garcia vehemently denied, calling it ridiculous and untrue. In response, Owens wore a surgical mask at practice, mocking Garcia's cryptic remarks about a sickness spreading within the team. Despite the off-field drama, Garcia continued to lead the 49ers with poise, guiding them to memorable victories, including a dramatic comeback against the New York Giants in the 2002 playoffs. Owens, too, showcased his talent, delivering unforgettable performances that solidified his legacy as one of the NFL's greatest wide receivers. Years later, Garcia expressed support for Owens' induction into the Hall of Fame, acknowledging his impact on the game. Despite their personal animosity, Owens and Garcia achieved significant success together on the field, including the dramatic playoff comeback against the Giants. Ndamukong Suh and Matthew Stafford, a tale of unspoken tension, unaddressed grievances, and a rivalry that transcended the locker room. Ndamukong Suh, the 6'4", 313-pound defensive powerhouse drafted 2nd overall by the Detroit Lions in 2010. A force on the field, Suh quickly became known for his aggressive play and unrelenting pursuit of quarterbacks. In his rookie season, Suh recorded 10 sacks, earning him the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Over his career, he amassed 600 tackles and 71.5 sacks, earning 5 All-Pro selections and a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020. On the other side, Matthew Stafford, the Lions' first overall pick in 2009, was the face of the franchise. Known for his strong arm and resilience, Stafford played 12 seasons in Detroit, setting numerous franchise records. But despite his individual achievements, the Lions' team success remained elusive. Behind the scenes, however, not all was harmonious. Reports surfaced of friction between Suh and Stafford, with Suh allegedly criticizing Stafford's leadership and performance. According to Kelly Stafford, Matthew's wife, Sue, harbored animosity toward her husband, though the reasons remained unclear. The tension came to a head during a playoff game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sue, now with the Bucs, was seen confronting Stafford on the field, a moment that reignited speculation about their strained relationship. Despite years of playing together, the underlying issues between Sue and Stafford never fully dissipated. The Lions struggled to achieve team success during Sue and Stafford's time together, despite the individual talent of both players, Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger. The feud between Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger was not something that happened on the field during a single game. It was something that slowly grew inside the Steelers' locker room over time. Together, they were once considered the unstoppable dynamic duo of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brown, who earned 6 Pro Bowl selections and was named first-team All-Pro 4 times, was one of the most exciting and talented receivers in the league. Roethlisberger, famously known as Big Ben, was a superstar quarterback who led the Steelers to 2 Super Bowl victories and became the team's all-time passing leader. But not everything was perfect behind the scenes. In 2018, Roethlisberger publicly criticized Brown's route running after a loss to the Denver Broncos. Brown, a player known for his fiery passion and confidence, took the comments very personally. He felt betrayed by his teammate, and this sparked tension that could not be ignored. As the season progressed, their disagreements escalated, and Brown was even benched for the final game. Soon after, he requested a trade. Roethlisberger later admitted that he had gone too far with his criticism and expressed regret for speaking publicly. Brown, too, tried to make peace, extending an apology. Despite these apologies, the relationship was already broken. Brown was traded to the Oakland Raiders and eventually played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, winning a Super Bowl in 2021. Roethlisberger continued to lead the Steelers until his retirement in 2022. 2 legendary players, 1 fractured relationship. The feud between Brown and Roethlisberger was a major story in the NFL, creating significant drama within the Steelers organization, Derek Thomas and Neil Smith. In the heart of the 1990s, the Kansas City Chiefs boasted a defensive line that struck fear into the hearts of quarterbacks across the league. At the forefront were 2 men, Derek Thomas and Neil Smith. Derek Thomas, selected 4th overall in the 1989 NFL Draft, was a force of nature. With 126.5 career sacks, he set the NFL record for most sacks in a single game, 7 against the Seattle Seahawks in 1990. Neil Smith, drafted 2nd overall in 1988, complemented Thomas perfectly. Over his career, Smith accumulated 104.5 sacks and was a 6-time Pro Bowler. Together, they formed one of the most feared pass-rushing duos in NFL history. Between 1989 and 1996, they combined for 171.5 sacks, 90.5 from Thomas and 81 from Smith, helping transform the Chiefs into perennial playoff contenders. Under defensive coordinator Gunther Cunningham, the Chiefs' defense ranked in the top 10 5 times during this period, with Thomas and Smith leading the charge. Off the field, their bond was equally strong. Teammates and coaches often spoke of their camaraderie and mutual respect. We pushed each other to be great. Derek was my guy. Tragically, Derek Thomas's life was cut short in 2000. However, his legacy endures. Alongside Smith, Thomas co-founded the Third and Long Foundation, dedicated to helping urban youth succeed in school and life. From Peyton Manning and Mike Vanderjagt to Derek Thomas and Neil Smith, NFL history is full of teammates whose relationships were tested by personalities, pressure, and the pursuit of greatness. These stories remind us that behind every highlight, every touchdown, and every game-winning play, human dynamics shape the legends we celebrate. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be posting many more interesting videos on the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Thank you very much.